All right, everyone, we're going to be talking about a bevy of news stories coming, well, really to the Nintendo Switch 2, a bunch of stuff here. One of the stories is actually going back to the Elden Ring story that was part of yesterday's video about how there was a bunch of gameplay and stuff. We have some quotes from some people who went hands-on that might make you excited, but more than that, we have direct feed footage directly from Elden Ring, about a minute of it to show you guys. When I say directly from Elden Ring, I mean obviously Bandai Namco and Elden Ring's social. So we're going to go over all of that. In addition to that, we'll be talking about another From Software thing in the Duskbloods, because the Duskbloods is coming, and we got the playtest going right now. We got to talk about that because, yes, while we're talking about it, I'm actually going to play some of the music from the Duskbloods because, yes, those that got accepted into the network test can download Duskbloods today, the network test version, and load it up, but you can't really do anything. It just gives you like the intro screen, the start screen or whatever, but there is a glorious nearly 2-minute piece of music. So we're going to listen to that. We're going to go over a sale currently going on at Best Buy for like 60 years or whatever. They can save up to 60% on a whole bunch of stuff, but we're going to obviously focus on the video game front there. More than that, we are also going to be talking a little bit about another thing happening at Amazon. Nintendo seems to have made a major change at Amazon, potentially to combat some issues that are going on over there. And what's funny is it really reminds people of the Nintendo seal of quality, even though it's a completely different thing. But it's going to be interesting here. Pokemon Company is launching a Polaroid camera. You heard that right, a Polaroid camera. So we got to talk about that. We have an update as well for Tomb Raider Legacy of Atlantis. So we're going to go over that as well. We have a rumor out there for Resident Evil 2, 3, and 4 on Switch 2. Like, apparently it's coming. We got to talk about that. And then we're going to end today's show just talking about a really interesting thing about what's going on with Elder Scrolls Oblivion on Switch 2 in terms of the physical version, and why you should not be worrying about the prices it's being sold for right now. Thankfully, this is one of those physical games that does seem to be having more copies coming. So we're going to talk about that as well. Now, folks, before we dive in, I will remind you we are giving away a Switch 2. We'll be drawing the winner on October 1st. You can enter through the link down in the pinned comment or the description. The only requirement is to be subscribed to the channel. All right, guys. You know, we're going to talk about Elden Ring because, look, a brand new gameplay showcase happened, and frankly, we have a minute of direct feed footage, so check that out. We'll put it on repeat a little bit here while we go over some stuff, such as the fact that there's apparently some media people saying that Elden Ring Tarnished Edition hands-on leaves press members utterly speechless. Like, what? So you might remember the original plan for Elden Ring Tarnished Edition was to launch it sometime in 2025. Bandai Namco shifted from those plans in order to give the port a bit more time in development. As early hands-on indicated, it was somewhat in rough shape, and I can vouch for that. Literally, I was one of those people. I said, it's playable. I think it's enjoyable, but yeah, there's definitely frame rate problems. Since then, we've heard that things have gotten much better, and the latest impressions indicate the port is more than up to snuff. The gang at Japanese outlet Den Famiko Gamer got extensive hands-on with Elden Ring Tarnished Edition on Switch 2, and to say they came away impressed would be a considerable understatement. The staffer who played the Switch 2 version has also clocked 100 hours with Elden Ring on PC, and they'd offer glowing praise for the Switch 2 port. They specifically said the port left them utterly speechless, as they didn't find any lag or stuttering to speak of. They also noted the handheld mode performed so well that they hardly noticed a difference. Now, obviously, you guys can go check out that full report. We'll link it up and all of that. But guys, obviously, Elden Ring is looking utterly fantastic on Switch 2. And look, it just makes people even more excited for its release, which I think is next week. Now, that's not the only From Software news story we have, because we got some news on the Duskbloods. And look, you're going to hear it right now. This is some music from the menu. It's pretty glorious. But anyways, the Duskbloods has a closed network test coming up, and it is now available to pre-download via a code for selected participants. I should know I have the code. I haven't downloaded it yet, but I got some time. It doesn't really begin until August 21st. The code can be obtained on the network test website account page, and we'll put this link down below. And this is actually a look at the title screen. It's pretty cool. This is where the music is from. Again, You can't actually do anything except get to the title screen and listen to the music. But even then, obviously it sounds epic. It sounds glorious. Everything is looking good. You're hearing some of the music. I mean, I'll just shut up for a moment. Just listen to this music. I mean, yeah, guys, that's pretty good stuff right there. So guys, I'm really excited to try out Duskbloods, and you know what? From Software has a really great reputation. So I'm just assuming it's going to be a really good game, but you know, assumptions can make an ass out of you and me. All right, guys, let's go ahead and talk about Best Buy. They have a 60% or up to 60% off sale going on pretty much store-wide right now, celebrating 60 years. And we're in the video game section here. In fact, let's actually narrow this down to just Nintendo. And let's just see what kind of deals they have here. I haven't really gone through this list yet, but I am really, really interested. So obviously, we're seeing some deals here. Final Fantasy Rebirth down to $34.99. That's really cool. Sonic Frontiers down to $30. Let's see if some other good deals. We got Remake Integrate down to $30. Persona 3 Reload down to $30. You're seeing some Razer headphones as well. Let's see here. Scrolling down, we got Yuko Replay at $34.99, saving $15. You're seeing Octopath Traveler Zero there at $34.99. Reanimal as well at $30. And then we're seeing Final Fantasy Tactics, Ivalice Chronicles. And look, guys, there's 453 items. So we're obviously not going to get through literally everything that's on sale, but you can go through here. Even Pokemon Legends ZA is on sale a little bit. Mario Deluxe, Mario Galaxy 1 and 2. So yeah, guys, I just think that there's obviously some great deals going on if you want to check it out. Obviously, there's some bigger deals on games on other platforms. I guess we can maybe try to look at accessories for a moment. I don't know if any of the official ones will be on sale because those are quite expensive, but you can see probably some of the third-party ones. You're seeing headphones here. Looks like it might just be like headphones. Now we're seeing capture cards. We're not, you know, this one's, I guess, a Switch 2 specific charging quad dock, but we're not seeing a lot of Switch 2 specific accessories on sale, but there are some if you guys want to go check that out. So just want to let you know that sale was going on. Not everyone pays attention to what's going on at these retailers. So, hey, I just wanted to let you guys in on that. And speaking of retailers, Amazon's one of the biggest online retailers, and Nintendo has made a major change in Amazon, apparently to potentially combat something. So Nintendo pointed out here that Amazon is now labeling select products as Nintendo approved. The product comes from Nintendo or Nintendo approved seller. It's spotted on Amazon. This could be to combat growing issues of the game empty case fraud. And look, guys, there's been multiple issues with Nintendo games on Amazon coming from like resellers or coming from like shady sellers that are selling empty boxes or just don't even ship you the product. Of course, when they don't do that, Amazon's very good with refunds. And even when you don't, like an empty box, you still get a refund, but it's still really disappointing. Like Amazon, yeah, they protect the consumer, but what they don't protect the consumer from all the time very well is making sure people are buying legit products from the legit place they think they're buying it from. Like if you just see the brand Nintendo on a listing, that doesn't necessarily mean Nintendo's the one selling you that game. So yeah, Nintendo has decided to take advantage of some sort of program Amazon must have to be able to put this Nintendo approved tag in there so people know that, hey, Nintendo said this is a safe place to buy the game. There shouldn't be any issues. Again, just making retail better and safer for consumers, I think, is good. And again, reminds me of going back to, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, the Nintendo seal of quality, right? That was, you know, applied to games, even third-party games that could meet Nintendo's quality standards. So yeah, I do think this is interesting. But also what I find interesting is this next story because Pokemon and Polaroid are doing something here. So Pokemon and Polaroid Special Edition range cameras are coming soon. And you can see one of them here being used by an adult. So it says catching your favorite memories is a snap when you're equipped with a camera. And those memories will be even more fun when you're using one of those adorable new Pokemon and Polaroid instant cameras. There are now 3 styles from which to choose, and you can get the Polaroid Now Instant Camera Generation 3 Pokemon Edition that sports the iconic red, white, and black coloring along with the Pokeball imagery, or 2 different Polaroid Go Generation 3 instant cameras that take inspiration from Pikachu and Sylveon. And you can kind of see this is a Sylveon, this is Pikachu, this is obviously the Pokeball one. And we'll just kind of like go through these as we can here just to give you guys some good looks. These are some of the Polaroid films, obviously there with different Pokemon on them, which is pretty clever if we're completely honest. It comes in a Pokeball style case, which I think is pretty cool. And then even a Pokeball like wristband thing here or whatever that is. But also this right here, like the way to store those and make them look a little nicer. Look, Polaroids are like awesome. I'm not really super crazy about them. I don't know when they're coming out. It says pre-orders will begin soon, but we don't really know when. Look, obviously don't know the cost of it. We don't know anything else, and if we can buy it worldwide. But look, guys, Polaroids take me back to even my childhood, and even my childhood was a little bit after Polaroids were starting to go out of style. We had disposable cameras and all that other stuff, and we would get film developed, but Polaroids themselves didn't really stick around. I did have like one little mini camera that would print its own Polaroids, and my kids had something like that as well at one point. So Polaroid is still around, but it's not the best image quality, and there's a reason that it's gone. Mostly to be like niche stuff like this, but it's still cool. It's still nice to see. And now we get to talk about Tomb Raider, Legacy of Atlantis, because a brand new video popped up. We'll throw it up here. It's called Combat and Progression Reimagined. And Amazon Game Studios and Crystal Dynamics have just released the 6th in a series of mini documentaries on the making of Tomb Raider, Legacy of Atlantis, a stunning reimagining of Lara Croft's defining 1996 debut adventure. So in this episode, the team goes behind the scenes with Crystal Dynamics, Flying Wild Hog, and Alex Wilton Regan as they explore how the team reimagined combat and progression. So that's really cool. Obviously, look, the footage of the games looked great. I'm glad it's coming to Switch 2. It's one of those trailers as well, or one of those videos where like the Switch 2 logo is last. It's interesting. I don't think it really means anything. I think it's just funny paying attention to where different companies keep putting the Switch 2 logo at the beginning, in the middle, at the end. I don't know what their logic is behind it. Some people said, well, for some, it might be alphabetical order, and that does kind of line up. For others, it just seems to be really random and hodgepodge. So, look, I don't know what it means. I don't know why they make those decisions. Maybe they don't even put that much thought into it. Someone makes it and slaps the logos in. Okay, next up, we need to talk about Resident Evil. So the 2, 3, 4, the remakes and all that coming to Switch 2 because we got some rumors out there from a couple reliable people. So it came off of this post by Necrofelipe talking about Halloween and remothered Red Nun's Legacy, coming out in October and all that. That's really cool. Then off of this, Attack the Backlog says we just need Resi 2, 3, 4 on Switch 2. Now, this is not him saying they're coming. This is just him saying that we need it. As you scroll down here, it's coming. So Reese Riley out here again, leaking things, saying it's coming. Oh, and by the way, Ted the Backlog says, you know it, my friend, with the eyeballs, basically acting like he's also heard about Resident Evil 2, 3, and 4 coming to Switch 2. So I don't know if it's coming soon. I don't know if we'll see it in the next Direct. I have no idea. But we really shouldn't be shocked given the 3 other Resident Evils we had, including the most recent one in Requiem, that we're going to get Resident Evil 2, 3, and 4 remakes. They have reviewed very well on every platform and very obviously can run well on Switch 2, given what we've already gotten with Resident Evil on Switch 2. So just a matter of time, whether they all come at once, whether they release on their own, maybe they're a triple pack. I have no idea, but I just wanted to throw that out there that, hey, and we've had rumors on this for some time, so some of you might have heard about this before, but some of you might not have. I just wanted to make sure I brought it up today because I haven't talked a lot about Resident Evil since Requiem itself came out. Now, our final story today deals with Elder Scrolls Oblivion Remastered. Now, here's the thing. This game is only available physically on one platform, that platform being Nintendo Switch 2. Same with Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. Kind of weird. These are Xbox games. They're basically game key discs everywhere else. But on Switch 2, they're full physical packages and seem to run quite well from what I've noticed. I haven't played them yet, but they look and run pretty well. Well, here's the problem when you bring physical games out is they can sell out. That's one of the benefits of digital is they're not really sellouts. Well, here's the thing. Just because they are sold out, people are assuming there won't be any restocks. And so they're being heavily scalped at massively inflated prices, like double the cost, right? Okay, well, according to the Nintendo deal, and look, I've actually heard this myself and just didn't really think much of it until, I didn't even realize they were being scalped this bad. But Nintendo deal comes out and says, please do not spend $140 on Oblivion Remastered. More copies will be available at the beginning of September. Like, yes, there are doing restocks for this. I don't know if Indiana Jones is getting any restocks. That's obviously a different studio inside Microsoft, but I hope so. And I hope we start seeing more and more third parties restocking physical games because we have seen the physical copies of third-party games on Switch 2 completely sell out at retail several times this year. It's like They just need to provide more copies. Like the demand is there, but they're not meeting that demand with the copies. Obviously, Elder Scrolls Oblivion is bringing more. So that's good news. And hopefully that means that they'll constantly try to make sure there's at least some of these units on the store shelf, especially as we get into the holiday season where there could be a sale on this stuff and people might be looking at it and being like, hey, I'll pick this up for Switch 2 along with my Switch 2 I just bought because it's on sale. So yeah, I really hope that they bring the goods there. All right, guys, that's all I got for you today. Thank you so much for tuning in. I am Nathaniel Rumpelgents from Nintendo Prime. And as always, I'll catch each and one of you guys in the next video.